And so I'm here with Rob Contact Watley, who will be fighting on on Friday, July 26th in Tampa, Florida. Actually, it's a title unification bout, champion versus champion. It's going to be a phenomenal contest. So my first question to you, Rob, is how has your training camp been going?
My training camp has been going interesting in that this is probably the most integrated my family life and my fighting has been. I have my wife and I. We just had our daughter about 9 months ago, so we have three little ones: a 5-year-old, 2-year-old, and a 9-month-old. And so, trying to find a way to make fighting work with children has been very, very interesting. I think we put together, approximated a really good camp for what we have, and I'm just learning to juggle the dad hat, the husband hat, and the fighting hat. So it's been an interesting ride, and I'm really appreciative of the opportunity.
Nice. And so, what would it mean for you and your career to win this unification bout on July 26th in Tampa?
Every fight, as a 34-year-old who was out for 4 years, for my my better years, my prime years. Every fight is important to me. Every fight is the most important fight in my career. And Marquez, he's the guy who signed on the dot. So I'm appreciative of him for taking this bout and giving me an opportunity to go out there and showcase my skill. And this is just an opportunity like any other to show that I'm still growing as a martial artist and as a man. And so I'm just happy and appreciative of this opportunity.
And you might have answered a question. My next question, on my first one was that you just that for your family wise, and is that your inspiration going into this contest?
Um, I guess I have a lot of different motivations, but if I had to say what the main driver now, continuing to get into this cage, it's definitely providing the opportunity to provide a better life for them somewhere down the line. So yes, I would say that's probably the main driving factor for me continuing to fight at this age.
Nice. And so this might be a weird question right here, but how excited are you to enter enemy territory for this fight against Marquez Forrest? Because he's from Tampa and
He
you're from
is.
Maryland,
I'm
and
from
this is
Maryland.
and usually it's very difficult for fighters to go into enemy territory and come out victorious. But how excited are you to go into enemy territory and fight a guy who's from Tampa?
I sort of like and when any odds are stacked against me, I've always been the under. I love the underdog story. I love the opportunity to triumph or overcome. But if you look at my career, actually, I've been going to other people's hometowns and fighting in their backyards for most of my career. My pretty much my whole LFA career. Every title defense that I had was in my opponent's backyard. So this isn't anything new. It's a new opponent, of course, a new guy. He brings different tools and different problems, presents different problems into the cage. But I've seen this before. I'm a veteran. I've been here, and I will handle it like I've handled the things in the past, and I'll handle it moving forward.
Nice. And speaking about your opponent, what can you tell me about your opponent, Marquez Forrest, and how do you stack up against him and his skills?
Marquez Forrest. I think he's probably one of the most explosive people I've ever faced. Probably one of the most athletic. That's from an athletic standpoint. I think he and I are pretty evenly matched. He's a very explosive guy, very fluid. Uh, he does a great job of flowing as he fights. You see a lot of people; they look a little blocky, or you can tell when they're transitioning between the arts, grappling and striking, and vice versa. And he seems to be pretty well versed and does a great job of mixing the arts. So I think he has 5 fights. This is his sixth fight. This will be my 18th fight. So I think where we'll see the difference, it'll be the little tiny nuances, the little intricacies in between the arts, the transitions that we'll see the difference. But I think in the experience.
Actually, that was my one of my next questions is I did some research on you. You have more fights than he has in his MMA career. I believe you have 17. He has 5. Like, how is that going to be a big factor for you going into this contest, having a lot of experience than your opponent?
Well, he's undefeated. And with a guy like that, he doesn't know how to lose. So he's going to continue to come forward and he's going to continue believing that all he needs to do is what he's done in the past and he'll be successful doing that. So it's going to be the onus is going to be on me to show him that I'm not going to crumble where others have crumbled in the past, where he may have capitalized on other people's weaknesses. I have to show him that that's not a weakness for me there, and that he's going to it's going to be a real fight for him. So I just have to make him doubt himself. A guy like him who's, again, strong and explosive and undefeated, I have to slowly take things away from him bit by bit. And I think that's where you'll see the experience come in as the fight is extended a bit. He's finished most of his guys, I think, in the first 2 rounds. So I think as you see in my last couple fights, I take a little time to get going. They say I'm a slow starter, but I like to feel the opponent out and see kind of what it is he's showing me or giving to me. So I think that'll show itself out after the first, second, or third round.
And what can people expect from Rob Watley on July 26th in Tampa?
An ecstatic, exuberant, grateful, thankful husband, father, fighter, person who's just there to give my most, because I'm so thankful to still be here. So thankful to the Creator, Yahweh. Thankful for the sacrifice that was His Son that allowed us an opportunity at eternal life, and thankful that I'm still get to be here and be a big part of my family unit. So I'm really just blessed to still be here, man. And thank you so much for taking this time. Oh, hold on, I had to change real quick to a shirt. Just if anybody out there happens to be looking for a lightweight, I might know a guy.
That's a pretty good shirt. Hey, advertise yourself. That's perfect. I love that. I love it.
Plug, baby. This is a shirt I like to wear around the house.
If you could just also this for people who have never seen Robert Watley fight, if you could describe your fighting style using one word, what would it be and why?
I would have to say aggressively expressive. And I would say that in that what you see me do, you'll never see anybody else do. I'm truly leaving myself in that cage. I just let it flow from me. A lot of times people will ask me, hey, do you remember that sequence in the fight? And I'm just like, yeah, let's watch that back. Man, I'm just doing my thing out there, man. So I think I'm really giving myself to the sport because I believe either I was created for it or it was created for me. So that's just me being me out there. Aggressively expressive.
Love it. And what would it mean for you to also be the first person to defeat Forrest? Because you said he was undefeated, 5-0. Like usually when somebody's O's goes, it's like, oh, who was that person who was the one? But what would it mean for you in your career to give him his first loss?
I so value every loss that I've ever had in my career, probably more than every win I've ever had. So I already think he's an incredible martial artist. It seems like he's got an incredible story. It seems like he's got a pretty good family and he's pretty grounded. So he seems really, he seems like a pretty rounded guy. I think if I could allow him or help him grow in his journey, or if he could help me by giving me another loss so that I could grow in my journey, honestly, that's all that would matter to me. Because this is just really truly about growing and bettering ourselves. And he signed on the dot so that I could help pay my family's bills. So no ill will towards the guy. I want to keep growing and lifting each other up.
Nice. And I saw that I was doing more research on you, and I saw that your nickname is Contact. Is that correct?
It is.
So I asked this to I did CFFC 132, and I interviewed Kyle Dawkins, who is the middleweight champion right now. And his nickname was the Darce Knight because he likes submitting people with Darces and stuff. Okay. How did you come up with the nickname Contact? And is there any backstory on that?
There is, and it is not nearly as epic as you may think it is. I am blind as a bat and I wear contact lenses, and
wow,
that's it. And so I always, like every practice, inevitably I get my contacts knocked out. So finally just contact. There's contact. Yep. There's contact. So not nearly as cool as the story I would wish it was, but yeah, man, that's the backstory.
Wow. That's out of left field. That's all I gotta say. I was not expecting that. But if you had any kind of words for your fans that are coming, because you're from Maryland, and I would expect Maryland to invade Tampa because this is going to be a massive event. What can you say to your fans that are going to be coming and watching you hopefully win and try to win that title for Maryland wise? What can you say to your fans all over in the United States and in the world too?
I guess I would just say thank you so much for the support. Thank you for being here with me through the ups and downs. And regardless of whether I win or I lose, again, I'm still here, alive, and able to share these moments with you, with them, with everybody. So thank you again, and just appreciative again of life, man.
Perfect. Thank you. And that's good.